In trucking, everything can go wrong at once. A failing def pump, a worn-out valve, a shop that messed up the repair, and a driver with only 2 miles left before derate. And this is just one day inside our shop. Keep watching. Every part of this day hits differently.
It can fall into the cylinder and destroy everything.
The whole engine was covered in oil.
We had to redo everything. Market's brutal right now. One truck hasn't been paid for in a month, so we're sending it to auction.
This is real American trucking. No filters, no excuses. And today, a lot happens.
So it can go into derate?
It's still gonna give you some time to make it to a shop. If it just happened, you've got maybe 150 to 200 miles left, theoretically. But from your telematics, it's already pretty clear you've got an issue with the def pump itself. You're at 620,000 miles now, right?
Yes, 620K.
Yeah, that's right. Drive somewhere closer to an official dealer, check the map for one.
I'd rather grab a rental or something.
You're better off heading toward the dealer, because once it drops into a 5 miles an hour derate, you'll have to tow the truck anyway.
But I've got 2 miles left.
Well, you'll make it another 2 miles, it's not a problem. I'm calling you so you can save some money and still make it to me later so I can make money off you again.
Yeah, no problem, no problem.
I sent you the part number, so just get the reman, no problem. It's cheaper. They'll take your old def pump core for $250. So if you buy it now, they'll charge you the $250, but once you return the old one, you'll get those $250 back. So either you pull your def pump off ahead of time and bring it with you, then they'll take it right away and knock off the $250, or you buy the new one, install it, and then you'll have to drive back to return the old pump because you've got to return the core to the same place where you bought it, not in another state.
Okay, thank you.
That's how we try to save the customer money. So he still ends up coming back to us because nobody else does this. I logged into his telematics, checked the error codes, told him what the issue is, sent him the part number, he'll replace everything himself, and he'll still come back to us because that's how we treat our customers.
We checked the compression. I've got only one cylinder showing 77.5. You think I can still make another 35,000 miles?
You'll make it. If it's around 70 and not 5, you'll be fine.
Because when the fuel level drops 1 notch lower and the truck sits for 4 or 5 hours and cools down, and then it starts, runs for 5 seconds, and dies again.
That's because the system is basically airlocked.
Then it starts on the 3rd try. I have to crank the starter for a long time.
Don't keep cranking the starter, you'll burn it out. Did you try priming it?
Yeah, if you prime it, it starts up fine.
The only thing you can do to give it a bit more life is to break that valve that's wearing out. That way, the one that's degrading will stay closed permanently. People do it this way, and it works. If we keep adjusting that worn-out valve, it can wear out completely, sink into the cylinder head, pop the valve keepers off, fall into the cylinder, and destroy everything inside. So we drop the pan, replace the section manifold, put in a new gasket and bolts, and we break the button. Then we do the adjustment. We break the button and set the valves.
My name is Julian. I'm from original in Brazil. I live in Florida. This shop, it's amazing. It's good. It's very quick and good price, and I like it. It's my first time, but my boss told me for him here. It's amazing. I like it.
Hello, bro. What's up?
Do you have a line tomorrow?
Our line depends on the trucks that stayed from today and the ones that show up tomorrow morning. So I can't really know what it's going to look like in the morning. When they come in, we'll figure it out. I need to ask the mechanic who worked today. I basically put the minimum time estimate on it, but if we show you how much your truck was torn apart, you'd probably just leave it with us because we literally had everything disassembled.
This should have been done 2 years ago.
You should have burned it out right at that moment. because the problem was also in that switch on the right side. That one had issues too.
Mic check. 1, 2. I'm just off today. That's how it is in our company. If you want a day off, you take a day off. No, honestly, I'm just taking care of some stuff, handling a few things. You'll all find out soon.
This mechanic is no longer a mechanic. He decided to go back.
Actually, I didn't decide to go back. We're opening. Well, not we. He is. Vadim is opening a new flatbed division.
Thanks to him.
Yeah. I'm the first one who's gonna go test it. It's one of the cheapest ones. It's brand new, around $40,000.
Not expensive.
It doesn't even have an auto inflation system. It's got steel wheels and a steel frame. Only the top deck is aluminum. It's really heavy, and I'm guessing the max payload on it is around 46,000 pounds. With an aluminum one, you can easily take 48,500, and sometimes, depending on the truck, even 49,000 pounds. With this one, you can load about 40,000 pounds going into Florida or California. When I was running a step deck, I hauled 67,000 pounds of master coils. I think this trailer's gross weight capacity is also somewhere around 100,000 pounds.
See? 73 right here.
Yeah, you can load about 73,000 on here. Aluminum trailers sit way lower. Their kingpin is almost at the bottom of the frame. They're roughly this much lower. But the good thing is, your tires stay intact when the trailer is low. Sometimes when you're turning left or right going downhill, there used to be this problem. If you had straps somewhere around here, you could bend them. On aluminum trailers, you can often see the first 1 or 2 brackets bent. That's from the tires rubbing into them. Anyway, we're heading out on a load tomorrow.
Alright guys, we're heading out for the road test. This truck had a minor accident. It's a 24 Kenworth with active steering. Because of the impact, we replaced the steering gearbox and the power steering pump. We also had to replace the drag link because the steering wheel was sitting crooked. Now the wheel is a lot straighter than it was before. Of course, the road has a little crown, but overall, I'm happy with it right now. It's ready. From a mechanical standpoint, we're just going to put together the repair invoice. The insurance company will reimburse him for all the repair costs later. I like it honestly. It drives amazing now. I'm really satisfied with it. This is a pretty interesting case. This truck already had its service done here and then came back. The reason is that some pretty complicated work was done in California, and now that shop is completely refusing to take responsibility for any of the issues caused by their repairs. The owner brought it back multiple times because of an exhaust leak. They replaced the manifold twice and did some work on the exhaust as well. And we also found a leak from the EGR valve. The entire engine was covered in oil. We had to redo a lot of their work to fix everything properly. They had already pulled the transmission and replaced the clutch, but they decided not to remove the flywheel housing. They only replaced the rear main seal. We removed the flywheel housing, the gear cover, the whole rear structure, and installed a new, updated one because it was leaking from underneath. Right now, we're heading into a big expansion, and with big growth comes big problems. Our workload is going to blow up, and the number of issues won't just increase 3 or 5 times, it'll go up like 15-fold. On the one hand, it's actually good that so many people who think this is easy are jumping into the shop business right now. Same exact situation as in trucking, 1-to-1. Look how many people jumped into it, and now they're all sinking. Especially the ones who bought trucks in 2021, 2022, 2023 at the peak of the hype. And now those trucks already have 1 million miles on them. We've got tons of clients like that, and so many of my friends are still paying 30 to 40 grand on a truck loan, and the money's just not there, and the truck keeps breaking. That's it, game over. And the market is absolute crap. I think a lot of things will change. The market is going to shift hard. One way or another, inflation will push rates back up because no one is going to run for a loss. And that's why right now we're straight up telling some customers not to fix their trucks because we can already see the repair just doesn't make financial sense. Right now, we've got a truck sitting here that hasn't been paid for in a month. So, according to the procedures in the state of Illinois, we're going to take possession of the truck and sell it at auction. The guy decided to disappear and stop responding. We'll see how it plays out. The main thing is, the law is on our side. We're doing everything strictly by the book.